Beautiful work by Crawford.
Of Gamboa. He's got the left hook.
But Crawford is the undisputed champion of the world. He's the finisher they all expect him to be. He is.
The drama surrounding Terence Crawford did not arrive overnight. It was built punch by punch, round by round, through moments where most fighters would panic, hesitate, or retreat. What separates Crawford from everyone else is not just that he wins, but how he wins. There are fighters who dominate with speed and belief before the physical damage fully reveals itself. That is why this one stretch of fights transformed him from an elite champ. Postol in 2016. He already carried the reputation of a gifted switch hitter with an advanced ring IQ. But reputation alone does not inspire fear. Fear is earned when a fighter proves he can solve problems that others cannot. Postol was not supposed to be easy. He was long, disciplined, and fresh off a shocking knockout that made the division take notice. Early in the fight, Postol did exactly what he was meant to do. He controlled distance, flicked the jab, and forced Crawford to think rather than explode. For several rounds, it looked technical, cautious, almost chess-like. But what many failed to see in real time was Crawford downloading information, reading patterns, measuring reactions, and quietly setting traps. As the rounds progressed, the shift became unmistakable, confusing Postol's defensive instincts and breaking his rhythm. When Crawford finally landed cleanly, the effect was immediate. A sharp left here, a sudden uppercut there, and suddenly Postol was no longer dictating anything. By the middle rounds, Crawford was walking him down, taking away the jab, and forcing exchanges that favored precision over volume. When the knockdowns came, they were not accidents. They were consequences of sustained pressure and superior timing. By the final bell, Postol was not beaten by power alone. He was dismantled by intelligence. That performance announced something important to the boxing world. Crawford was not just talented. He was inevitable. That inevitability became even clearer 2 years later when Crawford moved up and faced Jose Benavidez Jr. This was not a quiet build-up. Benavidez was confident, vocal, and convinced that Crawford was overrated. What followed was one of the clearest examples of Crawford's psychological dominance. From the opening rounds, Crawford controlled the pace with a disciplined jab and subtle footwork. He did not overcommit. He allowed Benavidez to come forward, to load up, to believe opportunities were there. When Benavidez landed a solid shot early, it barely changed Crawford's demeanor. He absorbed it, adjusted, and responded with cleaner, sharper counters. As the fight wore on, Crawford's bodywork began to tell a story. Each hook to the ribs slowed Benavidez just enough to open up the head. Each level change forced hesitation. Benavidez remained brave, but bravery without answers becomes a liability. Crawford's combinations grew tighter, his movement more economical, and his confidence unmistakable. By the later rounds, Benavidez was fighting fatigue as much as Crawford. Then came the moment that sealed it. A perfectly timed uppercut dropped Benavidez hard, and when Crawford followed up, there was no escape. The stoppage was violent, decisive, and final. That was not just a win. It was a warning. Taunting Crawford did not motivate him emotionally. It sharpened him. If those fights showcased Crawford's brilliance, the bout against Egidijus Kavaliauskas revealed his true menace. This was the fight where vulnerability entered the picture, and paradoxically, it made Crawford even scarier. Kavaliauskas was strong, aggressive, and unafraid. Early on, he landed clean right hands that visibly shook Crawford. For the first time in years, Crawford looked uncomfortable. The exchanges were dangerous, the margin for error thin. This was not a controlled masterclass. This was chaos knocking at the door. What happened next defined Crawford's legacy. Instead of retreating, he adapted. He adjusted his stance, tightened his defense, and began countering with increasing authority. The body shots returned, heavier this time, designed to sap strength rather than score points. By the time the fight was stopped, the message was unmistakable. Hurting Crawford did not weaken him. It awakened something far worse. That is why this run of fights changed everything. Crawford proved he could outthink technicians, punish confidence, and survive adversity. He showed that he could be patient under fire, ruthless when opportunity appeared, and adaptable against every style placed in front of him. Opponents no longer feared just his power or skill. They feared the moment when he figured them out. Because once that happened, the fight was already over. This is what makes Terence Crawford the scariest boxer of his era. He does not rely on chaos or brute force. He creates inevitability. He allows opponents to believe they have a chance, only to take it away piece by piece. In a sport where confidence is everything, Crawford removes it systematically. And once belief is gone, the body soon follows. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the rise of Terence Crawford and the fights that forged his reputation, let the channel know by liking the video. Share your thoughts on whether Crawford belongs in the all-time great conversation, and who you think truly poses a threat to him today. Make sure to subscribe for more cinematic boxing breakdowns, legacy stories, and